Yo, what's going on, guys? Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another video on the channel, and we are heading to Encore right now. It's a nice little Friday night, 7 p.m. And we're stuck in some Boston traffic, unfortunately. I don't know, why is this car like in between both lanes? What are you doing? Yeah, decided to make this intro while I'm here. Let's just bang this out. We can start a session right when we're in there. Friday nights, haven't played at Encore on a weekend in a while, and I'm excited because it's crazy. The action is crazy. I might mix it up. I've been thinking, I'm on the wait list right now. You can join the wait list for 2.5. I also joined the wait list for 5.10. I have no intentions of playing it, but I put my name on there just for fun. There's two 5.10 tables going on, but most likely gonna play some 1.3 if I hear one of my buddies is there, and there's some really good action going on at 1.3. So I put my name on the list just as a backup. You know, maybe there's a really good 2.5 table or something. I have no idea what I'm gonna be walking into, but usually the action on the weekends is really good regardless of what stakes you play. So I'm really excited. Finally get to play on a weekend, and we gotta get there. It's still September, unfortunately, so who knows. I just need to stop playing bad, and that's it. Stick to my game, don't be an idiot, don't punt, and we should be fine. All right, I know I'm a decent enough player to walk out of this session with a small profit if I don't run horrendously bad, which I never really do. A lot of it is also really self-inflicted, and I lose more than I need to. We know this, whatever. Hopefully we can play a little bit more controlled, lower variance, play well, and book out a win. So also music preference, so let's get there. Maybe I'll record some driving stuff if we ever get out of this brutal traffic. But on to Encore we go, and onto the hands. All right, we've made it. Let's go. Parking lot isn't actually packed yet, which is kind of surprising, but now that we're here, cameras have to be down. Big thumbs down for that. I can't even make a thumbs down. Look at all this stuff in my hand. I have my sweatshirt, my water bottle, and my keys and everything. It's all falling apart. But cameras shutting off now. Let's get into some of these hands, and yeah, we're gonna get settled in, play some poker, play well. In the meantime, if you want some of this merch and some gear, check out the website if you haven't already. The store that I have, online store, closes October 15th. After October 15th, you can't get them anymore. I am not going, the store will be closing, and we'll be making out all the orders and manufacturing everything who did order. So don't miss out. Click on the link in the description if you like some of the merch. It's pretty cool, have a ton of cool stuff, so definitely check it out. Let's get in some of the hands, let's do it. So we hop into the 2-5 game because we're feeling a little risky, and first interesting hand here, we buy in for the max, $700, and the first hand is pocket queens in middle position. I open things up to $20, and we get 3 bets to $75 from the cutoff player, and it folds all the way back to me. For one of the first hands at the table, look down at queens, pretty strong hand, and I have seen that there's been a few people 3-betting a little light, playing a little loose. So Given that I haven't seen any action from this specific player, but given the action from the table, he could be 3-betting light, and I think the right play here out of position is to 4-bet this a lot of the time. Queens, top of my range, 4-bet to whatever, and we play a bigger pot. We narrow down his size and a little bit lower variance. But for some reason, just didn't feel it at the time. Played like a little bitch, so I just flat. He's also about $700 deep as well, so pretty similar stack sizes. Let's just go to a flop heads up here out of position. Flop is probably one of the worst flops you can ask for. It's ace, ace, king, 2 spades out there. This is a pretty gross spot for queens, and I am going to check when it's onto me, and he checks it back, interestingly enough. So we're just going to play it out, have a ton of showdown, and I'm really just trying to get to the river, hopefully. And we go to a return, which is the deuce of spades. Looking down at my hand, I don't have any spades in my queens here. So here, I'm going to check once again out of position. And he decides to go and fire $105. Without having the queen of spades, it is good and bad, I guess. Obviously, a lot better if I did have the queen of spades, so we can have some redraw outs. But he could be bluffing here a lot of the time with some weird hands like jacks with the jack of spades. That is honestly about it. I think that a lot of his hands that does continue spades has a pair here a lot of the time at the very least. But being a huge stupid fuck that I am, I decided to make the call, just not believing him in this spot. Yeah, pretty terrible call looking back, but honestly, that's what I did. So I call, and we go to a river, which is the ace of diamonds, and we improved to a boat. Not a great boat, but it's still a boat, and we beat like jacks, I guess. So I decided to check. He checks it back. I show my queens, and we are actually good. He showed a queen jack of spades for the turned flush, so honestly, it was about as bad as it can get. I like his check back with his hand, given that he flopped so much equity, and most of my range comprises of aces or kings, and I'm never folding on that flop if I did have those cards. Following hand after that, we look down at ace king offsuit in the hijack, and there's 2 limpers to me. I am going to raise things up to $35, and we get 2 callers, a big blind, and limper. So here in position now, the limper was seen playing 2-5 offsuit in a really, really big pot. Tried to bluff at it, and she didn't win, so we know that she can call like the widest of wide. So we're gonna go to a flop 3 ways of queen high. It's queen 9-4 rainbow, pretty dry flop, and when it checks to me, I think it's just a c-bet. Sometimes I can definitely mix in a check back as well, but queen high, it's super dry, and against 2 opponents, it's not great, but I still like to c-bet here in position. I can definitely just take a stab and win this one here. I c-bet $80, and they both quickly fold, so those are things we like to see. We take it down, and honestly, I really like how in 2-5, you can just c-bet and win $70. If you win a tiny hand, you win $70. It's like, that's just not comparable to 1-3, but obviously, if I c-bet and get called, that kind of sucks. Hand after that, we have ace queen offsuit in middle position, and I opened it up to $20. The button 3-bets me to 80. He covers me, and from like the 30 minutes, 40 minutes I've been playing at this table, he seems like he's playing pretty tight, and he's a pretty good player as well. So in position, he's in position here, and out of position in this spot when it folds back to me. I contemplated about 4-betting here, but realistically, I just need to have a better read on this player and just have a little bit more information on him before I do 4-bet bluff with ace queen off. So I just call, and we're going to go to a flop of jack 10 8 2 spades out there, and I'm sitting with the ace of spades. So we flop 2 overs, gutter ball, backdoor flush. That's not the worst flop in the world. So out of position, I check. He throws out a bet of 115, and here in the spots, I think there's just a lot of equity for me to just way too much equity to fold. So I'm going to make the call here, heads up, and we go to a turn which is the 4 of spades. Amazing card for me, obviously, as I do block the nut flush, and I check, planning on check raising here. I think that his range comprises a lot of ace queen, ace king, and overcards when he does 3-bet me. So overpairs, I mean. So in this spot, definitely going to put in the check raise if he does bet, but unfortunately he checks it back. So hopefully we can improve. The river is another jack. It's a jack of diamonds. And now in this spot, I think it's a perfect candidate to bluff at. You know, the hands that he's afraid of, top pair that turns into trips, got there. If he does have an overpair like kings, and obviously the obvious flush draw got there on the turn too. So he's not really beating a lot when I bet here. I decided to definitely take a stab at it. I lead out for $225. Looking back on it, it's really, really small. I really would have liked a sizing of 260, 275. That definitely would have been a lot better. But here, I think he's a solid player, thinking player, and I think I can definitely bluff him off on a really small bet that looked like it's totally for value. So throw out the 225 there, and he tanks for a while. And 2 minutes later, he folds. So we get it through. He tanked for quite some time, and I really put him on aces, kings, queens. I block aces and queens, obviously, but kings seemed like a really good candidate, and I just really don't have too many bluffs in my range there, especially when everything gets there. Following hand after that, we are in the big blind with ace king offsuit, and there's 3 limpers to the small blind, who raises it up to $20. Here, next to act, gonna 3-bet here all the time. Gonna 3-bet to $75. Sometimes, looking back on it, the player to my right, the small blind player, plays a little bit bigger. It seems like he's straddling every chance he gets, and he has that demeanor that he plays bigger. So honestly, sometimes I could really just flat here and go multi-way with ace king. Not something I recommend, but considering I know that he's definitely not folding, and we're gonna play a pretty big pot, we're just going to go with ace king, I guess, being I think at the top of my range. So I 3-bet 75, and it folds all the way back to him. He makes the call. We're going to go to a flop in position of 6 deuce deuce, 2 clubs out there. What a flop that gives us no help. He checks to me. And here I am going to c-bet $100. He ends up raising me to $250, and I'm forced to fold here. Not much of a decision to make. I included this because this was a pretty big mistake on my part. I think with ace king, just didn't think that he would ever raise a 20 with some garbage trash. It seemed like he was on like a middling pair, 7s through 10s, maybe not as big, not as strong as 10s, but 7s through 9s and 5s and stuff like that. And that's a board that he really likes with those pocket pairs. So not really the best spot for me. I had to fold ace king to that raise, and I think just checking it back here would make a lot of sense instead of trying to c-bet and barrel and win every hand. It's a mistake I've been making. So paid the price on that one, unfortunately, but we're moving on. Hand after that, we have 8-9 of clubs in middle position, and there's an under the gun limper and an under the gun +1 raiser to $30, and action's onto me. 30 is pretty big, but over a limper, I guess I can see merit to that. Totally fine here in position of the pre-flop laser. Suited connectors obviously can't be folding here, so I decide to call the 30, and there's 3 other callers as well. So we're gonna go 5 ways, pretty nice, to a flop of 6, 6, 7, 2 clubs. Wow, what a flop for us. And open-ended straight flush draw, we're gonna like that all the time. So weird enough, unfortunately, action checks to me. I mean, I really would have loved to see bet, but I decided to go and bet big here, multi-way, assuming someone's gonna have a little bit of something. I bet $125, and it unfortunately folds all the way around, but I did like my sizing. 125, I'm happy to take it down with all my equity or build a bigger pot if someone does call. I think someone does call with a 6, but even like a pair of 7s or I don't know, maybe 10s or jacks, it's a harder fold, and they're forced to call at least one street. But I'm happy with taking it down. I'm happy with taking down $120 just by a little c-bet and flopping the world. And yeah. All right, guys, little update here in this little parking lot, garage. I mean, anyways, mid-session update. See what's going on. Checking in with you guys. I kind of like this actually. I'm just like alone here in level 2 of the garage, just talking to myself. Not bad. Anyways, getting off track. I played for about an hour and 40 minutes of 2-5, and I am actually going to be switching to 1-3. We're just going down because just not that it didn't go well, it's just I'm not too comfortable right now with the current table. It's just like, I don't know, a lot of stress, a lot of emphasis on playing well. Like when I can play well, I can. I think those 2 hours I played well. I made that one mistake with ace king, and that was and queens. Okay, I didn't really play that great, but there's more mental capacity when I play 2-5, and when I play 1-3, a little more relaxed. And also I was probably the second worst player on my 2-5 table, and everyone was like miles better than me. So with all of that said, we're going back to 1-3. We're a little bit more comfortable, and I did book a win at 2-5. I was in the game for 700, out of the game for 907. So we did make a profit of $200, and no complaints there. So we're gonna go to 1-3. It's a Friday night. There's like 30 1-3 tables, or 25 at least, and we're gonna try to run it up a little bit more comfortable, a little bit smaller game, something that I can just kind of relax, play my cards, play my strategy, and not have to be too stressed while playing. Because when I bluffed that ace queen hand, heart pumping, making a $225 bluff, which was a little small. Probably would have liked 270, 250, but regardless, yeah, my heart was beating, racing. I was kind of shitting myself during that time while he was tanking there. So it is what it is. We're gonna go to 1-3, like I said, and wish us luck. Let's try to run it up. So we go and hop back into 1-3, and we've been pretty card dead so far at this point. This hand that I'm gonna go over happened 2 hours into the 1-3 session. Not a whole lot of updates, not a whole lot of things happening. So we're sitting with 8-9 offsuit in the big blind. There's an under the gun straddle, and we have 300 in our stack. Just haven't been doing a whole lot. And there's 3 limpers to me. I am going to call the extra $3, and the straddler raises the $16. I switched tables, so I'm pretty new, and I'm familiar with a bunch of these players. But it folds all the way back to the small blind who calls, and here $10 more with 8-9. As much as I hate this hand, I'm really priced in and I can't fold to the straddler raise. So I call for $10 more, and we go to a flop of ace 8-3 2 diamonds out there. Small blind checks. I'm going to check with middle pair, and the under the gun throws out a bet of $15. Small blind gets out of the way, and with my pair of eights, seems like he's going for the flush draw for sure with such a small sizing. So I'm going to toss in the call as well. We're calling $15. Who cares? So we're going to go to a turn out of position, which is the 3 of clubs. Not really a card that changes anything at all. I check, and he bets 25. Once again, the same scenario. It's unfortunate. I'm probably behind, but it's such a good price, and it seems like he's really trying to price himself in for that flush draw. But I don't really have much info on this player besides just that's a really small bet. So I toss in the $25 as well, and we go to a river, which is another ace. So we got a double paired board, and I have a pair of eights and a 9 kicker. So I check again, obviously, hoping to go to showdown, and he thinks for like 30, 45 seconds, a little bit longer than normal, and fires out $75. And now we have a real decision to make. The line just doesn't make any sense. I think an ace bets a whole lot bigger on the flop and absolutely barrels a whole lot bigger on the turn. And like, is he really going to bet that much for value with a hand like jacks through kings? It seems unlikely. It doesn't seem like someone would definitely try to triple barrel for value here with anything. So for all those reasons, I decide to make the call with my pair of eights. He shows us jack 6 of diamonds, and we take it down. So showing jack high, he raised the $16 with jack 6 of diamonds when he didn't have to under the gun. We'll take it for sure. Welcome to 1-3. Hand after that, we have king jack offsuit in middle position here, and it's 3:30 a.m. now, so we've been playing for super long. I don't know when I did that mid-session update, but it is significantly longer than it should be. But it's 3:30, and this is another spot we get involved in. I open it up to $15. We get the button and blind making the call. So we're going to go 4 ways to a flop of king, queen, jack, 2 spades out there. So flopping top and bottom pair and small blind just leads out for $20, which is pretty nice. And we get a caller in the big blind who's a little bit of a deeper stack. Small blind's really short, but like $75 behind. Big blind, I would consider a recreational player with about 400 in a stack. And here, obviously, gonna have to raise for value. I decide to raise it up to $85. Small blind calls all in for less, 75 total or whatever it is. And the big blind calls as well. So we got some action, and we're going to go 3 ways to a turn, which is the 4 of spades. Not the card I want to see. It just seems like I'm definitely behind and beat here a lot of the time. Someone's got to be on the flush draw, right? So when he checks to me, I'm not feeling too great. It's a pretty gross turn card, but I still think that sometimes I can bet here just to see where I'm at for value, considering I can build a side pot if the jammer is on a flush draw, which most of the time he is. So I decided to just check it back though, unfortunately, not going for value. The river is an 8 of diamonds, essentially a brick, and he throws it about $25, like... that's really annoying. I just have to toss in the call with 2 pair. He shows, big blind shows queen jack for flopping bottom 2 pair. Small blind mucks, and I actually somehow take down the whole pot even though spades got there. So that's pretty nice to see. We'll definitely take it down. It's unfortunate that we didn't get it all in on the flop, or the turn was such an action killer. I absolutely would have taken a stack for sure, but we'll take the scoop when we get them. Next hand, we have queen jack offsuit in under the gun position. I open limp. Not a play that I am definitely proud of at all, but that's just what happens when it's 4 a.m. We open limp sometimes with queen jack for some reason. We get a button who raises it up to $16. He's been playing really good, very value-y, and when he raises the 16, I'm definitely going to fold here a lot of the time. It just seems like his normal raises have been around $12 to $14 from my memory, and here raising up to 16, it seemed like he was definitely pretty strong here. Has definitely an overpair, and for sure has either between 10s through aces, and that's about it. That's his range. So I can call, but like with those suited Broadway not suited, just connected Broadway cards, it's kind of hard to play against. But when the big blind player who makes the call, he's a fairly recreational player that I would like to get involved with, I am going to call as well for $13. So plan kind of derails. So we're going to go to a flop 3 ways, and it comes king 10 9 2 spades. What in the world is happening? Shouldn't be in this hand, but here we are flopping the nuts. It checks to the big blind, or the preflop raiser button, who ends up making a bet of $25. The big blind makes the fold, and here I am definitely going to raise it up on the bigger side. I know that he loves to call with his big hands, and he's not really going to bet with nothing. So I'm going to raise it up to $125. He doesn't think too long before making the call, so I know he's either got... I think he's really only got aces, kings, or 10s here at this point. I block queens and jacks, obviously, and those are the hands that really make sense that would call such a big raise. So we're going to go to a turn, which is the 9 of diamonds, the board pairs. What in the world? How does the board pair? I wasn't even afraid of the spades. I was like really unfortunate and gross here. So I out of position. It's so weird. I mean, I have to bet, but I don't want to bet at all. So I opted to throw out a sizing of $75. Super tiny, tiny, tiny down bet. And my thinking is, like, if he has aces, he's just going to flat this, right? And if he has a boat now, I think it's a mandatory raise since I did lead out so small. And he does raise me. He min raises me, though, to $150. It's so gross, and I'm very much in my own head. It's really late at night, but I am putting him dead on a boat now at this point. Although I'm given a really great price, I just feel horrendous about this. I would never think that this player could, like, it's either aces, kings, or 10s, right? Since I block queens and jacks, and I don't think queens or jacks will continue and call a 5x raise on that kind of flop. But he could, but I don't think if queens or jacks would raise here ever. So it's really aces, kings, or 10s, and would he ever overplay aces here for top two pair, essentially, I guess, top pair. No, I really didn't think so. So I reluctantly fold $75 more to me. And I've done a lot of thinking about it. At the time, table time, game time, I felt really good about this fold. Then I asked him what he had. He ended up saying that he had aces. I believe him. He doesn't seem like a player who would lie. And I folded a straight because I am a huge pussy. So that really sucked for me. Very much in my own head. I talked about this post in my Facebook group. If you haven't checked it already, it's in the link down below. But I did talk about this specific hand in my Facebook group. Got a lot of feedback on it, and it makes a lot of sense. Like sometimes I just have to call the $75, even though I'm like so confident I was behind there. I was super confident. But yeah, I was given a really amazing price, like 5-1, 6-1 on a call to that raise. And I think he was probably just raising to see a cheap showdown and just go check on the river, which would have been sick. Last hand that we'll go over in this 1-3 session. We've been playing a long time. This session came at 6 a.m. because I really didn't leave after that hand. Things were not going my way at this point, and my stack for sure dwindled, and we're playing on a new table. Super fun, very actiony. It's 6 a.m. Encore. It's actually crazy action at 1-3. So let's get into this hand because we have ace-jack offsuit in middle position here, and there's two limpers to me. Knowing that this table is so active and people are calling everything pre-flop, I raise it on the bigger side to $25. It folds all the way back to a specific limper who thinks for a long time and raises the $50 and folds back to me. A limp min 3-bet. Didn't think I'd ever see that happen, but just doesn't think that he was on a strong hand. I think a stronger hand would either just raise normally or limp 3-bet a little bit bigger. Just don't think that he has that strong of a hand. So with my pretty strong ace at this point, I'm pretty confident in my hand, I decide to just go ahead and rip it all in. He had about 400-ish, 425, something like that behind, and we went for it. There's really no analysis that I can think of besides that I know that there are players willing to gamble, and I have ace-jack, which is pretty good, and I'm definitely ahead of his range a lot of the time. If he wants to gamble with maybe pocket fives, like I think that's it. Like baby pairs is probably what he has. Probably not the best spot to jam, but I still think that I'm ahead of his range, like king queens or king jacks or stuff like that. And he could honestly very much call. So he tanks for a long time and ends up making the call. We're going to go to a flop. We're going to go to a run out, not even a flop. 800 plus dollars in the middle. And we're mixing things up here with ace-jack and 6 a.m. So the run out in the flop comes 10, 8, 3, 8, 10. He looks very happy with himself. So I obviously just don't feel good about it. He shows ace 10 offsuit, and we lose. We lose to that. So that's kind of what happens. I got him to call with ace 10 offsuit, having him absolutely destroyed, having him absolutely crushed. We lose there, and the session did not go well after that. I definitely should have left, and there's no outro in this video, live outro at least, because I couldn't really muster the courage and effort to record an outro at 6:30 in the morning after playing for about like 9-10 hours and being super tired and losing. So that's what happened. Very unfortunate. So I was in the game for, actually I have no idea, whatever the graphics say in the last 15 seconds of this video, that's what happened. So September, this session was in September. Month not really going great. So that one really hurt. The hands after that, the hands before that, that was really unfortunate. I obviously didn't go over a whole lot of hands in the 1-3 session because we played for so long, and I just kept on playing, and I didn't actually record anything, unfortunately. So those are the hands that we have. Those are the highlights. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. Check out the link in the description for some merch, Facebook group, all that fun stuff. All my info, how to contact me, is down in the description below. So looking forward to seeing you guys in the next video in 2 days, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.
Feel it in